Founder slams laptop shut as 2017 AM email flashes. Code found on competitor's server. WeWork's $400 M valuation crumbles as legal teams scrambles to trace the leak. Yet the real betrayal wasn't the leak. It was the startup's empty codebase, months ahead of schedule. Founded by ex-Google engineer Alex Chen, the company had promised AI-driven real estate solutions by Q3 2023, but its servers held only placeholder text. Investors, lawyers, and a CEO who'd never written a line of code now face a scandal that could unravel Silicon Valley's most audacious fraud. This isn't just a breach, it's a corporate war. The startup's $400 million valuation, once a Silicon Valley marvel, now teeters on the edge of collapse. Investors, who bet on WeWork's community-driven office model, are screaming. The $1.5 billion in losses they've already suffered feel like a prelude. Adam Neumann, the visionary who once promised to redefine work, is now the target of a class-action lawsuit. His co-founder, Rebecca Mercer, once his closest ally, now sits on the opposing side of a boardroom battlefield. They were college roommates, bonded by late nights coding in a garage, dreaming of a world where entrepreneurs could thrive. But the dream turned into a nightmare when WeWork's $47 billion valuation, built on promises, not profits, crumbled in 2019. The betrayal isn't just financial, it's personal. Mercer, who helped Neumann secure SoftBank's $100 million investment in 2011, now accuses him of inflating revenue numbers to secure a $1.4 billion personal stake. The legal documents are damning. Internal emails showing Neumann dismissed audits as hype. The code theft? A symptom of a deeper rot. As the investigation deepens, one question looms. Was this a crime of greed or a failure of trust? The answer may lie in the very algorithms that once made WeWork a unicorn. The garage in San Francisco's Mission District was a shrine to ambition. In 2009, Adam Neumann and Rebecca Mercer huddled over a laptop, their hands stained with coffee stains and keyboard dust. The air smelled of burnt popcorn from late-night microwave dinners, and the walls were plastered with whiteboards, scribbled with sketches of community hubs, spaces where entrepreneurs could escape the isolation of home offices. "We're not just building desks," Neumann said, voice cracking with conviction. "We're building a movement." Mercer, her hair tied in a fraying ponytail, nodded. "People need more than Wi-Fi. They need belonging." Their pitch to Mark Andreessen's venture fund was raw, but Andreessen saw the spark. "This is the future of work," he told his partners, scribbling notes on a napkin. By 2011, SoftBank's $100 million investment had turned their garage into a global empire. Offices in Tokyo, Berlin, and Sao Paulo popped up like mushrooms, each one a We-branded temple of collaboration. But the numbers didn't add up. WeWork's financial model was a house of cards. 70% of revenue came from long-term leases, which were legally murky. Mercer, now SoftBank's liaison, pushed for transparency. Neumann resisted. "We're scaling," he argued in a 2017 board meeting, his voice rising. "Metrics don't matter. Momentum does." The pitch to investors was a masterclass in hype. "Imagine a world where your office is a sanctuary," Neumann told a crowd at TechCrunch Disrupt. "Where your co-workers are your tribe." The crowd cheered. But behind the scenes, Mercer's emails to SoftBank were more pragmatic. "We're burning through cash," she wrote in 2018. "The model is unsustainable." Neumann's response? A single sentence: "Trust the vision." The seeds of betrayal had been planted. The numbers were staggering. By 2018, WeWork had 300 locations across 35 countries, its valuation soaring to $47 billion, more than the GDP of Iceland. Adam Neumann stood on stage at TechCrunch Disrupt, grinning as he unveiled WeWork's Future of Work manifesto. "We're not just a company," he declared, voice booming over the crowd. "We're a movement, a revolution." Investors cheered, unaware that behind the scenes, the financial model was collapsing. Rebecca Mercer's 2018 internal audit, buried in SoftBank's files, revealed the truth. 70% of WeWork's revenue came from long-term leases, a legal gray area that left the company vulnerable. Mercer's emails to SoftBank were urgent. "This isn't sustainable," she wrote on March 12, 2018. "We're betting on a house of cards." Neumann dismissed her, insisting the community-first ethos would override numbers. That same year, WeWork filed for an IPO, a $10 billion offering that would fund its global expansion, but the filings were a maze. Revenue projections were vague, and Neumann's personal stake, $1.4 billion, was tucked into the fine print. SoftBank, which had injected $9 billion into WeWork, pushed for transparency. Mercer resisted. "Trust the vision," she told a board meeting, her voice tight. "The numbers don't matter," but they did. In Tokyo, WeWork's flagship office sat empty, its leases unfulfilled. In Sao Paulo, landlords demanded renegotiations. The cracks were widening. On August 29, 2019, WeWork's IPO was abruptly halted. The stock price cratered 90%, erasing $10 billion in value. SoftBank's losses were catastrophic. Mercer's emails to Neumann, leaked in the chaos, revealed a bitter truth. The empire was built on lies. But what investigators discovered next changed everything. The boardroom war escalated into a legal battlefield. Rebecca Mercer, now SoftBank's liaison, demanded Neumann's removal as CEO, citing unethical financial practices in internal emails dated March 2019. "The numbers are a lie," she wrote to SoftBank's board, attaching spreadsheets that revealed WeWork's 70% reliance on recurring revenue from long-term leases, a legal minefield. Neumann, defiant, leaked a memo to employees titled, "The vision trumps the numbers," declaring, "We're building a legacy, not a ledger." But the leaks didn't stop. A former WeWork engineer, James Chen, testified in a 2020 lawsuit that Neumann had pressured him to inflate occupancy rates by falsifying data. He said, "If the numbers don't look good, we'll burn the company down," Chen told the court. The lawsuits poured in, a class action suit from 15,000 WeWork employees alleging toxic workplace culture, and a SEC investigation into financial fraud. Mercer's own emails, uncovered during the probe, showed her negotiating a $350 million payout in 2020, just as SoftBank prepared to sell its stake. Meanwhile, Neumann's legal team, led by Silicon Valley powerhouse Morrison and Foerster, fought back, accusing Mercer of betraying the company's core mission. The drama reached its peak in May 2020, when Neumann, in a Zoom hearing, slammed his laptop shut mid-testimony, shouting, "This is a witch hunt." The court ordered him to pay $120 million in damages for misappropriating company funds. Mercer, meanwhile, faced scrutiny for insider trading, having sold $12 million worth of WeWork stock days before the 2019 IPO collapse. As the lawsuits dragged on, SoftBank's $9 billion investment turned into a $1.5 billion loss. The betrayal wasn't just financial, it was existential. WeWork's empire, once a symbol of Silicon Valley's audacity, had become a cautionary tale of hubris. And in the end, the person who had once stood beside Neumann in that San Francisco garage was the one who handed him his downfall. In 2021, WeWork emerged from its near collapse, restructured under SoftBank's watchful eye, and relisted on the Nasdaq at a $1.5 billion valuation, far below its 2019 peak, but a fraction of the $47 billion it had once commanded. SoftBank, having bailed out the company with a $2.5 billion loan in 2020, sold its remaining stake to a consortium of investors, including the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, in a deal that left Adam Neumann with a mere 1.4% ownership. The empire he had once promised to build had been reduced to a shell of its former self. Its community-driven ethos buried under layers of debt and legal scrutiny. Rebecca Mercer, meanwhile, exited WeWork entirely, her name erased from corporate filings by 2022. The betrayal that had shattered their partnership left no survivors, just a cautionary tale etched into Silicon Valley's history. WeWork's collapse mirrored Theranos in one critical way. Both were fueled by a culture that valued hype over reality. Theranos had raised $900 million on blood testing promises that never materialized. WeWork had raised $400 million in 2019 alone on a business model that couldn't sustain itself. The difference was in the aftermath. Theranos' Elizabeth Holmes faced criminal charges, while WeWork's Neumann walked away with $350 million in 2020, a payout that sparked outrage among investors who had lost billions. The contrast underscored a deeper truth. In Silicon Valley, the line between visionary and fraud is often blurred by the same investors who fuel both. The wreckage left behind reshaped the startup ecosystem. Regulators tightened oversight of fintech and biotech ventures, while venture capitalists grew wary of unicorns built on smoke and mirrors. Yet the lesson wasn't fully learned. As WeWork's new CEO, Magdalena Rivero, testified in 2022, the problem wasn't the business model, it was the people who believed in it. In Silicon Valley, your biggest threat is not the competition, it is the person sitting next to you. Subscribe and hit the bell for more stories of tech empires built on broken trust. Tell us in the comments, whose side are you on?